Hello everyone, you're watching Coffee with Sabrina and I am Sabrina Hussein. Today I have a very dynamic guest with me. We're going to be talking about insurance. So a little bit about insurance facts on the show today, but we're going to be talking mainly about claims. Since we're having a lot of that right now and a lot of things are happening with our consumers that they're not really sure how to handle it. So I have a very, very special guest with me. Today I have a very dynamic guest with me. We're going to be talking about insurance. So a little bit about insurance facts on the show today, but we're going to be talking mainly about claims. Since we're having a lot of that right now and a lot of things are happening with our consumers that they're not really sure how to handle it. So I have a very, very special guest with me. AJ, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. I love working with you. I love your team. So thank you very much.
Likewise, same here. We love working with you guys.
Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Okay, so a little bit about me is I've been a contractor for 13 years. Been in the business for 14. Worked for another contractor previously. It went well until it didn't.
Right.
And that forced me to start my own company. What started out as a roofing company kind of bloomed into being a contractor. More of a general contractor. So now we specialize in roofing, gutters, exterior paint, exterior remodeling, interior remodeling. It's a whole gamut of things.
Wow. What were some of the challenges for you in leaving your 9 to 5 or whatever that job was to start your own? Because once you start your own, there's no fixed time and there's a lot of challenges. What challenges did you face in the beginning?
I didn't have any.
You didn't?
I did not. So in the beginning when I started, so I've always been the guy that when I put my mind to something, it's gonna work.
Yeah.
So the one challenge I would say that we had was growing in the business in the beginning, you don't have systems and processes in place.
Right.
So as you grow, you have to develop systems and develop processes to make sure everything flows smoothly so people have a good experience. So
Yeah.
it took us time to get that in place, but other than that, no real issues.
So that's awesome. No challenges.
No challenges.
Yes. I love it though.
Yeah. Now, I'll also say that, in the beginning, you got to find clients.
Right.
So that was hard because we just got on the ground and started working.
Yeah.
Calling people that we knew. But that was the challenge in the beginning. But outside of that, just systems and processes, no challenges. It's just, I think it was meant to be.
Very impressive. Very impressive. I think for most businesses, it's always that employees, not finding the right employees. But also, I feel like if it's not a passion, and like you say, if it's not meant to be, you will always face challenges.
That's right.
Yeah.
And even if it is meant to be, the challenges allow us to grow because we're always working on being a better version of ourselves.
Yeah.
So in order to grow, we have to have those challenges because that fire refines us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So 14 years, lots of experience, lots of different things. In my world and most of, in insurance and your world, every single situation is different.
Yes.
And so I'm sure you've had a lot of experiences, and with our most recent storms and changes and with all the changes in the insurance industry, I'm sure that has been a lot for you guys also.
It has.
Yeah.
It has. But it's good. Change is good.
Right.
Yeah. So we just embrace it and keep moving forward.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. We're always going to have change. We just have to, learn how to adjust and move on.
That's right.
So what we really want to talk about today is one of your most recent claims, and that is fire. So I tell my clients all the time, let's do a review once a year. Even if you're not my client, come in and review with me. Because most of the time, the people on the television that's saying, the insurance company didn't pay anything. It's not that I didn't have the coverage, it's the insurance company didn't pay anything. Even yesterday, I was at a meeting and the speaker was talking about insurance companies not paying anything. And I wanted to stand up and say, well, we do pay if you have the coverage.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about that experience with the fire.
So before we talk about the fire, let me just address that.
Okay.
Address it. People say insurance companies don't pay. It's super important for people to understand that when they have a deductible, the damages have to meet their deductible. If and I give you, so recently with all the storms in my neighborhood, I put out a note in our neighborhood chat saying, hey, there's going to be a lot of guys that are working. We didn't have that much damage. Don't file a claim, because most in my neighborhood, I mean, deductibles are $6,000 to $12,000,
Right.
1-2%.
Yeah.
So if you don't have at least $6,000 worth of damage, there's no sense in filing a claim, because in that situation, the insurance company will not pay,
Right.
because they haven't incurred at least $6,000 worth of work of damage.
Right.
So people just need to understand that you have to have more damage than what the policy deductible is for the insurance company to cover anything.
Yes. And I find myself explaining deductibles a lot more now than I have before. Even though we explain it at the front end of the policy, of course, when they have a claim, you need to reinforce that. But we are explaining deductibles a little bit more. And then we have to go into everything has a deductible. Your health insurance has a deductible. Everything has a deductible. I explain that though in my terms of we're keeping some of the responsibility, like you're keeping some of the responsibility and then you're passing on the rest of it to the insurance company.
Right.
So your deductible is your responsibility. I think they're understanding that a little bit better as I break it down in conversation. They're understanding it a little bit better.
Yeah, and I get a chance to explain to people, because a lot of people want to file a claim, but sometimes the damage they have is due to wear and tear. And the policies don't cover wear and tear, they cover direct physical loss.
Yes.
So if there's no direct physical loss of the property or the apparel's not covered, there is no coverage.
Right.
Right. So we have to explain that to people sometimes too.
Yes. And that's why I love working with you guys, because you're able to explain that. Especially to my clients, or now I find like I'm sending people that are not even my clients.
Right.
So thank you for that. I really appreciate that you are knowledgeable enough to be able to explain that to them.
Yes.
Because sometimes coming just from us, it doesn't always make sense.
Yeah. We love the relationship. It's mutually beneficial, so we love it.
Good. So let's talk about this fire.
So let's talk about the fire. So I had a client. We did a roof. We did some interior repairs for her and her husband October, November last year. She reached out to me a couple months ago and said, hey, Jay, do you know anybody that could handle a house fire? I said, well, I did that too. And she was like, really? I said, yeah. She said, don't you do? So we just had a conversation and she told me what happened. So the situation here, unfortunately, is she wanted her mom. Her mom was moved from out of state to here. Her mom closed on her home at about 11 o'clock in the morning. After closing, they had insurance bound. She had a cleaning company come in to clean. She had a couple contractors. This conversation is we're gonna go two directions with this conversation.
Sure.
She had a couple guys come in replacing windows. Why the contractors did what they did, I have no idea. Still doesn't make sense. But what happened is they replaced 2 windows. They were working on the 3rd window. They couldn't get the window out of the frame, so they had a torch with no fire extinguisher on site, and they heated up the window frame to try to pull it out, and this caused a house fire. So this lady closed in her home at 11. About 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, her house had burned. Okay, and it was actually a total loss. Okay. So she never spent the night in the property. So they called me, I got involved, helped them out. So in this process, I met with the adjuster of the property. We're estimating damages. And the adjuster made a comment to me. He said, hey Jay, he says, I think this homeowner is going to be underinsured. I said, what do you mean? He says, I don't think they're going to have enough coverage to cover everything. So in this situation, this fire hit the attic, went through the attic. So everything in this house had to be gutted. The ceiling joist up, walls down, just the brick on the house, everything has to be demoed and rebuilt so that we can get all the smell out of the house and destroy this property. So this lady was insured for X, but the repair cost was Y, and Y was a lot more. So in this situation, this lady was about $80,000 underinsured. So from the time she closed on the property, when the house burned, our estimate was $80,000 more than what the coverage was.
Right.
And the adjuster told me, AJ, everything that you have in this estimate is warranted. We just can't pay for it. And I had to have this difficult conversation with the home. And they are happy. We're working through the product. We're actually, we've demoed everything. We're reframing. We almost got the roof built on the property. I'm going to do some inspections today. And then we'll start working on the interior next week.
Right.
But yeah, she was underinsured.
But I'm sure you're doing a lot of this out of giving back also.
Yes.
Because, you know, $80,000 is a lot of money. I'm sure she doesn't have $80,000 sitting around to do repairs.
She doesn't.
At her house.
She doesn't. We're working through it.
Yeah.
We're getting everything done for her. It is some community service that we're doing, so she won't be out of pocket for the repairs that we're doing because we're doing some extra work. This is why I wanted to talk to you, because most people don't understand how having the right coverage affects them in a situation like this.
Yes.
Because everybody's not going to find a contractor to do what we're doing right now.
Exactly.
And you know, we're in a busy season, so we can do this. But yeah, I'm loving what we're doing, able to help this lady.
Yes.
But she's learning. Like, her daughter called me. She's like, AJ, do I have the right amount of coverage? Do I have the right amount of coverage? And the good thing is because we're doing this, you know, the people who don't have the coverage, they're going to be able to send those guys over to you guys, so that they can get everything evaluated to make sure they have the proper amount of coverage. So.
And please do, because, you know, when I'm out there, I'm telling people, whether you have farmers insurance or not, I am an insurance consultant. Mm-hmm. I can read any policy, any type of policy, whether it's home, auto, life, commercial, anything, but let's do a review. A review doesn't mean that I'm going to sit there and quote you and try to sell you anything, because at this office, we don't sell anything. We educate.
That's right.
And so that's the whole point of this, you know, send them so that we can do that. I plead with my clients. I have videos on my YouTube channel talking about Focus on Facts, and Focus on Facts is all about insurance, just so that people can pick up bits and pieces and call us to ask us more questions.
Yes.
I think a lot of times people think insurance is boring, number one. They don't want to read, they don't want to hear about it, but also they think, oh, if I go there, I'm going to have to buy this.
Right.
And that's not the case. When you told me about this fire, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm trying to get across to every single person out there. You have to have the proper insurance, whether it's your home, your life, your auto insurance, your business, because look at the type of losses we face when catastrophe happens.
Yes.
We don't have that kind of money just sitting to just pay a claim just like that.
Mm-hmm. And I would imagine this lady never thought this would happen.
Right? Who would have?
Nobody.
Who would have? She's probably still in shock even.
She is.
Yeah.
She is.
Because that's a sort of a trauma, you know. She's traumatized.
It's very traumatized.
It's sad.
Yeah.
One of the things that also that I tell my clients is we try to do smooth sailing, right? Sometimes by the time we send everything over to the mortgage company, it's another month before they close. I stress. Call me the day you close. The minute you close, you text me, you call me, you email me, so that we can submit that policy.
That's right.
Because imagine if we didn't submit.
No coverage.
Exactly.
Yep. And I've been doing this 14 years. This is the first time this has ever happened.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, from closing a property 4 hours later to a total loss.
Yeah. I've been in this for 27 years, and this is the first time I've ever heard of that. Mm-hmm. Now, I've been through three house fires in my 27 years with clients, but never anything like that. Yeah. That's traumatic.
It is traumatic, and that's why we're having this talk, because people should be educated.
Yes.
So, yeah, they should be educated to make sure they have the right amount of coverage. Because I think most people look at insurance as a cost instead of an investment.
Right.
And our home is one of the largest investments that we have, and you want to make sure you invest in it properly.
Yes. Do you have anything else you want to share with the consumers out there about claims or coverages?
No, I would just say, so the second part of this conversation I want to talk about is the contractor who was putting the windows in. Mm-hmm. Here's the deal in Texas. Most contractors don't have to have insurance licensing. There's no licensing for general contractor in Texas. Now, when you're pulling permits, you have to get registered with the cities. You have to have insurance and those things to pull permits. And most contractors don't pull permits. Most contractors don't get HOA approval. So I would just tell homeowners to vet contractors, because the contractor who started the fire, they were only replacing 3 windows, but they didn't have any insurance. So the insurance carrier told me they were going to subrogate, which means they were going to pay for the claim, but then go after the contractor to get reimbursement.
Yeah.
Well, come to find out, this contractor had no insurance.
So there's nothing.
So if a contractor doesn't have insurance, probably means he doesn't have any assets.
Exactly.
So there's nothing for the insurance carrier to go after. So I would just say for homeowners, or any kind of work that you're doing to your property, make for sure you get certificates of insurance. I know most contractors won't say this, but if a contractor has insurance, Sabrina, you know this well,
yes,
you can issue a certificate of insurance for someone. It normally happens in business insurance, where if I'm doing work for a commercial building or building owner, they want me to have the farmers issue a certificate of insurance, or make them a certificate holder.
Right.
You can do that for residential too.
Yes.
So if you're a homeowner and you have somebody working on your property, have them issue a certificate of insurance, call their insurance company and make sure they're insured for the work that they're doing on your property.
Exactly.
It'll save you a big headache.
I'm so glad that you brought that up, because when I recently, especially telling some of my homeowners that, they're like, why do we need that? Well, you need to know that they're insured. You want to make sure they're insured. They can tell you they're insured. But if you don't have that certificate of insurance, you don't know that for sure.
Yes.
Because you can call and verify. And you're going to be the certificate holder on there. They're adding you as a certificate holder. So if something happens, you have all the information in front of you to just call and file that claim.
That's right.
And so I love that you said that.
Yeah, so when we were going through this fire claim, the insurance company was working to see if the contractor had insurance. Well, after we got involved and we got to move through the process, they discovered that the contractor had no insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's just important just to make sure a contractor has insurance. That's one way to vet them.
I tell my clients too, my commercial clients, don't just get insurance because someone's requiring it. Get it so that you can be protected.
That's right.
Because imagine if you were the contractor and you didn't have the right insurance and they come back to you, you're out of pocket some money.
That's right.
Right? In the state of Texas, they can garnish wages for lawsuits.
Yes.
For those things.
Okay.
So you're going to be out of pocket money. But I'm really glad you brought that up, because I've been stressing on that lately with clients. Do not just use anyone that comes knocking on your door. Make sure they're bonded and insured.
Yeah, and then reach out to your agent.
Yeah.
If you're using Sabrina for your insurance, call Sabrina before you file a claim. That way she can give you advice on what you should do next.
Yes, yes, most definitely. Well, thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
I know that's going to help a lot of our consumers out there, and something I say all the time, something I talk about in with every single client I sit down. I use fire as an example because I've had those, and to me those types of claims are the worst, right? You just lost every single thing, especially a total loss. And the 3 fire claims that I had in my career with my clients, they were all total losses.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful that you're here today to share that, and coming from someone else, someone who's experienced, someone who is going through the process with someone else, and it's not just me telling them.
That's right.
So I love it.
I love it. Thank you for having me too.
You're welcome. So if the audience is trying to reach you, how can they reach you?
Oh, hold on. Let me get my phone out.
So you can get all your handles.
Yeah, I gotta see if I have it. Let me see here. So on Facebook, you can reach us at Wilco Roofers. Instagram is Wilco_Contractors. TikTok is at Wilco Contractors. That's how you can reach us. And our website is www.wilcogc.com or www.wilcoroofing.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and I appreciate you and your time to come and help educate our clients.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, everyone, this is Sabrina Hussein again, and you just saw another episode of Coffee with Sabrina. and we're going to be coming live with a lot more episodes like this. So stay tuned. Until next time, bye-bye.